We've reached an agentic inflection point. AI agents. Executing entire workflows.
Apps and agents.
Agentforce.
This is the powerful moment.
And our agents now have encyclopedic knowledge.
It's a win for the consumer. It's driving down costs.
Customers aren't going to deploy just one agent. There's going to be many agents.
Big companies are using Agentforce.
Agentforce is now an $800 million business, and to see the velocity.
This is an agentic revolution.
We're going to this incredible new world, the Agentic Enterprise.
Being Agentic Enterprise, all of a sudden you have a supercharged business.
You've got the ecosystem, you've got the platform.
This new Agentic Enterprise is a system of context, a system of work, a system of agency, and a system of engagement, all front-ended by Slack.
Slack is our operating system. We run our full business in Slack.
Slack makes facilitating conversations so easy.
It's how we communicate with each other. It's how we plan with each other.
All your CRM data.
I cannot live without Slack.
All the apps.
How do you help everyone move faster?
It's the front door to the Agentic Enterprise.
And then we blow the bank up.
Slackbot allows us to keep up with all the collaboration that's going on at the company.
We are always trying to pull off the impossible.
If you're running a business without Slack, you're doing it on hard mode.
I will literally protest if you get rid of Slack.
It's invaluable. Slack is completely foundational to the approach. We've saved and made at least $4.5 million just because of how we're using Slack.
What's really evolved over time is how much we've been able to connect it to other systems. By being able to bring our Salesforce data into Slack, I've seen our time in the deal desk stages go down by up to 60%.
At Rivian, Slack brings our people, data, processes, and agents together into our flow of work.
Say context is worth 100 IQ points. And you see Salesforce, Data 360, Tableau, and Slackbot coming together. It simplifies so much of our workload.
Slackbot is my chief of staff. That saves me about 30 minutes a day.
Now that I use Slackbot, I cannot go without it.
I think we're at a new era. Agents enabling you, that's really where the magic is.
Okay, good morning, everybody. How are you doing? All right, we're happy to have everybody here. It's going to be a great day. We're really excited to celebrate Slack and Slackbot and Salesforce, and we're going to just get going here. So we're going to meet the new Slackbot, where AI works, and before we do everything, we're going to try to entertain you this morning. We're going to try to inspire you. We're going to try to motivate you, but mostly we're going to try to do what? Does anybody know? How do you know that? Incredible. We're going to try to thank you. We always try to start with some gratitude because we know that we cannot do this alone. We are deeply grateful to you, to every single one of you, all of our employees, our customers, our partners, our influencers, the media, our investors. We cannot do what we do without you. So thank you. And we are deeply committed to all of you. We're deeply committed to our core values, to trust, to customer success, to innovation, to quality, sustainability. It's been 27 years, amazingly, of Salesforce. Hard to believe, actually. And Don Clark is in the back. I love these meetings because he always comes, who wrote the first story on Salesforce. So thank you, Don. Software goes online. So thank you, Don. And I'll just say that way back when, 27 years ago, we had a great idea. It was beyond software as a service. It was to take 1% of our equity profit time, to put it into a foundation, to commit it to our values. And it has resulted in about $1 billion now of giving, 10.5 million hours of volunteerism, more than 64,000 nonprofits and NGOs run for free on our services all over the world. And probably the best thing we ever did is that we encouraged 19,000 other companies to join us in our 111 mission, which has resulted in about $3 billion of philanthropy. So we continue to encourage and evangelize that incredible opportunity. And a core part of that is right here in San Francisco and in Oakland. We have now done more than $286 million in all-time local giving, which is awesome. Thank you. especially focused on our public education. As you know, we're mostly focused on our public schools, the local San Francisco Unified School District, our core partner, the Oakland Unified School District, our local NGOs, and we're so grateful to all of them. And we're also very proud to see the tremendous transformation of San Francisco that's underway, and we are a significant funder of that. We're putting our money where our mouth is, putting millions of dollars into investing in our local city services, including our police department, to get our city back to where we all want it to be. We're deeply committed to doing well and doing good. It's been an incredible journey over 27 years. This year we'll do over $46 billion in revenue, hard to believe. Incredible margins, more than 34%. More than $16 billion in cash flow will be generated by the company this year, which is why we have so much to give away. And Q4, which we just launched, was our best quarter ever, with more than $11 billion in revenue, more than $72 billion in RPO, which is deals we signed but not yet recognized. So an incredible future coming for Salesforce. And the best numbers, not only that we've ever had, but these are the largest numbers anyone in the enterprise applications business has ever delivered. Now, beyond the financials, this is about 27 years of innovation as well, which is why we're here today. You're about to see the next level of that. I know a lot of the people in the room have been building and participating and creating this amazing level of innovation, and we're going to see some awesome things with Slack. Now, before we do that, I just want to give you a brief Agentforce update. We have an incredible tiger by the tail with Agentforce. It is our fastest growing product ever. More than $800 million in fourth quarter ARR, incredible 169% year-over-year growth, 771 agentic work units. And what that means is actually complex transactions that are getting generated by these agents to make this happen, with more than 23,000 customers. And you can see those customers all over the Bay Area, but really all over the world, including Pandora, amazing company based in Copenhagen, Denmark. And in Copenhagen, Denmark, and how many of you have been to a Pandora store in the mall? Okay, if you go online, you're in the mall, you're in service, you're using Salesforce, even their point of sale is now Salesforce, customer service is Salesforce, sales is Salesforce, marketing, incredible company. Lennar, how many of you live in a Lennar home? Anybody? Oh, got to buy some more Lennar homes. So we have agents scheduling 12,000 tours. Amazing for them. How many people flew here on Southwest Airlines? We've got to start getting committed to the Salesforce customers. Come on. It is amazing to see what agentic AI is revolutionizing all these customer experiences. Since we first launched Agentforce now, it's been a couple of years. So we know there is still very much now what we call the agentic divide. It used to be the digital divide, now it's the agentic divide between we're having these great experiences with our customers, but still we know there's many companies who have not yet crossed this chasm, which is why we have Jeffrey Moore over here to help us to learn how to cross the chasm. But we think that in this moment of transformation, one of the things that we've seen to help these customers move through the agentic divide is Slack. And Slack is how work has been getting done. It's been an incredible journey, 5 years of Slack. We've delivered already 2.5 times revenue of growth since the acquisition on Slack. It'll probably be 3 times by the end of the fiscal year. We have about 1 million businesses running on Slack. It's been a huge growth story. And to help me understand that, communicate it, is where is my co-founder, Parker Harris?
Right here, right behind you.
There he is. Very good. Please welcome Parker. Parker, before we go on, you have been doing incredible work with the mayor in transforming the city. You're part of his leadership team. Give us a quick update. How is things going?
Well, I think things are better than ever, and I think part of it is Mayor Lurie's dedication to the city. Like, he is everywhere. And if you follow Instagram and you see him, he is dedicated to the city. We are making it safer. He's very pro-business as well, because we need more businesses. We need more businesses downtown. And also, we gave some money. One thing we did around safety was around this drone program. And I visited. So downtown, there is an office building and there are police officers sitting in that building, and they manage drones from the tops of rooftops here in San Francisco to keep us all safe, to follow during an incident. They actually follow the perpetrators, arrest them. With everyone being safe, perpetrator goes to jail. It's pretty amazing.
Very excited. So I saw that on Minority Report. It gets very interesting in the future. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Well, let me just start by saying, I am a co-founder with Mark. It's been 27 years. 2 years ago, I dropped into the Slack business unit. And I did that because I saw an opportunity to get incredible value out of this asset. We are lucky to have Slack. And you can see it by the numbers, 2.5 times revenue growth. 900% growth in AI users, but also just an incredible team, and an incredible amount of innovation that you're going to see today. And you can see it where Slack is where the biggest brands work. So a lot of many large companies, the category leaders, are living in Slack. Amazon, one of our biggest Slack customers, actually, it's unbelievable what they're doing with Slack. Verizon, Target, but also here in San Francisco and kind of everywhere, the top AI companies. Where do they work? They're not vibe coding in their own place to work. They all live in Slack. Anthropic, you'll hear more from Anthropic today, a great partner with Slack, OpenAI. Every single AI company lives in Slack. And it's not just getting work done in Slack, it's AI work getting done in Slack. So look at this number. So 300% growth in custom AI agents since February. So 2 things happened. This is people building applications, building AI agents, and running them in Slack, because Slack is the best place for humans and AI to work together, or even AI to work with AI. We opened up our APIs, a real-time search API, as well as the MP server GA. And that happened in February. Those 2 things roughly in February. 300% growth, like a rocket ship. Unbelievable. You're going to see some of that today. But Slack is brand new. Slack is brand new. It's where AI works. We're going to walk through what's going on with Slack. What is new about Slack? And it all starts with Slackbot. How many of you have not used Slackbot? Okay, that's good. Yeah. I hope every one of you is being honest, because Slackbot, I'm really so excited. Slackbot is the fastest growing feature I have ever seen at Salesforce, maybe in the industry. It is unbelievable. It knows you. It's your teammate. It's your collaboration co-pilot. It's like right there with you, doing work with you and doing work for you. And it's magic. It's out of the box and it just works. It's also that Slackbot is expanded with skills through all of these partners, these partner applications. We have a huge AI marketplace. I showed you those custom apps being built. There are companies building their products right into Slack. If you use Dropbox or DocuSign, if you use Linear for coding, unbelievable experience within Slack. And Slackbot can take all of those and gets even more powerful through all of those skills. It's also about CRM. Salesforce, if you didn't know, is a CRM company. Check out our ticker symbol and you'll remember that. And there's a lot of small businesses that start in Slack. And when they start in Slack, don't they need to sell? Don't they need to market? Don't they need to service their customers? Why not just do it right within Slack? So we have CRM built into Slack for small businesses. That's out right now. But we're not stopping there, because we're actually disintermediating Salesforce while we do this. We are basically saying, why should I ever log into Salesforce? I built the Lightning UI. I worked really hard on it. Why should you ever log into Salesforce again? Maybe you never will. Maybe you will go in to Slack, because Slack is that new engagement layer for enterprise software, for developers. And it's also, as I said earlier, where the AI is. You're going to get the AI help. So sales is different. Deals are closing more quickly. Service, field service, IT service, HR, so everything is changing. Every single, and if it's not changing fast enough, I guarantee you, Mark will be beating people over the head in Salesforce and say, why are you not going faster? Slack is also where you manage Agentforce. Slackbot is your employee super agent. But there are a lot of incredible agents being built on our platform, on Agentforce, for sales, for service, for marketing, for every use case you can imagine. But as an employee, should you have to go, well, I need to do this, but which agent should I choose? Let me go through the UI and find it. No, you don't have to do that. Slackbot knows you. It also knows all of the other agents that are out there that it has access to, and it'll just hand off to those. It will orchestrate to those agents to get your work done and make you more productive. So Slack is the front door to the Agentic Enterprise. So this is Salesforce's architecture, and Slack is a key part of that. Down at the bottom, AI is nothing without data. If you don't have the right context, we all know that, AI is really dumb, you know? Bad data in, bad data out. So you got to start with an amazing data layer. So that comes with our data cloud, it comes with our data 360, Informatica, new acquisition, unbelievable asset for us of bringing your data together. And then you have your system of work, all of the applications. You know, there is no SaaS apocalypse. That is just ridiculous. Everybody needs their sales, their service, their marketing, all the applications, all the workflows. Everything our customers have invested in is incredibly valuable today because it's now powered by the system of agency. All of the AI has access to that data and all of your business processes, and then surfaced through that new engagement layer, which is Slack. And so I would prefer for you to see this technology instead of me talking about it. So we're going to let you meet the new Slack. We're going to show you demo after demo. You're going to see what I'm talking about. And to start, we're going to have the star of the show, Slackbot, and the star of the show, Rob Seaman, GM of Slack. Take it away, Rob.
Sure. Thank you, Parker. Thank you, everybody, for being here. This is the first time I've worn glasses in public, so I noticed yesterday I couldn't actually read that screen, so if I trip and fall, give me a little grace. Anyway, I'm so excited to talk to you about Slackbot. I used Slackbot this week for, I had it translate some Italian handwriting through an image into English. I gave it a deck that I was going to review with Marc and said, hey, can you play Marc and play devil's advocate and let me know what questions he might ask? It truly is an indispensable teammate. It is smart. It is pleasant, and it's endlessly useful. It's smart because it knows you. It knows your priorities, the projects that you're working on, but it also knows what's important to your team. And it knows what's important to your company because the priority, the goals, the top projects of your company are reflected in channels in Slack. It's pleasant because we've given it the voice and tone. Who here uses Slack? All right, cool, a lot of you. So it's pleasant because we've given it the voice and tone and irreverence and playfulness of the Slack product, but also because it knows your personal preferences from session to session. We've given it memory, so it knows if you prefer to create slides in Google Drive versus, say, OneDrive. We know what emojis you prefer to use when talking to particular colleagues versus your boss. And I think you'll see, as we show you all the new capabilities that we're introducing and skills that we're introducing, the upper bound of use cases for Slackbot is truly limitless. Now, before I show it to you, I want to talk a little bit about how it works. So we're proud to say that we've built this with Anthropic. We've got Ami from Anthropic here who's going to talk to me later. When you ask Slackbot a question or you give it a directive, a couple things happen. This is dramatically simplified and it's not always linear. First is context engineering, and this is kind of the magic. So this is where the system prompt for Slackbot is. This is where the RAG happens that pulls all the valuable information from Slack, but also the valuable information from Google Drive, from Atlassian, from other systems that you might have connected into your Slack as a user. It's also where your preferences are pulled in to make it personal to you. We then reason over what needs to happen in order to accomplish the task or answer the question. And when it's reasoning over Agentforce agents. It's reasoning over every connected system in Slack, every action it can take in Slack. But every one of those ecosystem apps and agents that Parker mentioned can register their MCP servers for use by Slackbot in their app manifest. So it can reason through and figure out which ecosystem partners it should call. And then it calls those tools. And at the end of the day, the user gets what they want. And it's often a surprising and delightful moment where you're like, oh, wow. I didn't know it could do that. Or, oh, wow, I didn't know it was going to be that good. And I couldn't be more excited to show it to you. I need the glasses for the showing it to you part. So I'm going to do that through the context of a customer. Everybody know who Mr. Beast is? All right. 90% of the content on my TV, thanks to my 11 and 9-year-olds, is Mr. Beast's content. Mr. Beast has 470 million YouTube subscribers. That's more than The Rock or Tay-Tay, I think. They get about 350 million views per video on average. Behind the faces that you see on TV are over 500 employees. I think we have Lewis here, who's the CIO of MrBeast. So thank you to MrBeast for being a customer. But they are a content production machine. They run contests, they run stunts, they blow up buildings. They have a camel, as I saw, that walked through their headquarters. It's just a really, really fun customer to work with. And they live on Slack, and they use Slackbot pretty indispensably throughout their day. So Dylan, why don't we show some of the new features that we're announcing today in Slackbot through the lens of MrBeast? All right, so this is Slack. For those of you that don't use Slack, we're looking at a channel. This is Jimmy. For those of you who don't know, this is MrBeast himself. Now, who here has ever had a boss swoop in and say at the very last minute, we're going to make a big change to what we have planned, right? All of you, exactly. It happens a lot. Not here at Salesforce, but apparently it does at Beast Enterprises. So Jimmy says we need to make a pivot from where we're going to run this stunt to 2 other locations. And so we're going to ask Slackbot, how can we make this pivot? Now, that's a very basic question with very little context. So one thing I want to point out here is Slackbot has situational awareness. So it can actually see the channel or the canvas that I have open here to the left of Slackbot. So it knows that Jimmy actually asked for us to pivot, in this case, I think from Fiji to 2 other locations. Now, the first thing you'll see it's doing is it's loading this relocation skill. Now, Dylan, if we go up to the Skills tab, Skills is one of the new things that we're announcing today. So I think this is becoming a bit of a standard, but this is a way for people to extend Slackbot. That's for users, for companies. We're going to have an out-of-the-box catalog of these skills. People can contribute to them and share them with their colleagues. But these skills are a set of instructions, again, for how to extend Slackbot to execute a specific process. So apparently this relocation stuff happens a lot at Beast Industries, so they built the skill specifically for that. And if we go back to Slackbot, you'll see it has loaded that relocation skill, and it started to execute it. Now, what it's doing in here, one, it's pulling in that context, so it's searching within Slack. It found this stunt brief from the past, and it's taking the information about this current stunt we're trying to execute, joining it with that template, and what it's going to do is it's going to go create a presentation on brand in the Beast Industries template, and it's going to share it back into this channel. Now, what's happening there as it's doing that is it's also going to check the calendar of me and the people that need to be in the meeting that are in this channel, okay? So it's going to create the deck. It's going to find time for us all to meet together to review the deck synchronously. And then it's actually going to send that message and share all that content to everybody on this team. One of the most powerful things about Slackbot is it's a personal agent for me, but one of the most powerful things about Slack is it's a multiplayer environment. So I'm taking all of this insight, all of this knowledge, all of this power, and I'm taking it out of single player mode, and I'm putting it into multiplayer mode, and I'm doing that in a channel. So here you can see it has built out the deck. We're going to show that to you in a second. I keep forgetting to do that because it's super cool. And we're going to ask it to share it back into channel. And so as it does this, it's going to ask me if I want to share that back in the channel because the user is opting in for Slackbot to act on its behalf. And so when we go in and actually preview that particular deck, you're going to see that it has created it on brand and in the Beast Enterprises corporate template. I think you can just scroll up and click on the link at the top in the Slackbot conversation there. Yeah, if you scroll down, there you go. You see that? If you click on it. Oh, we're having a little bit of a demo issue here. But what this is doing, as I mentioned, again, it's read all that content, it's booked a meeting for us, and it has created that presentation. With our monitors, we're not actually able to do the preview and show you the presentation right now. We'll give that one shot again, and if that doesn't work, we're going to hop over and fast forward to the meeting. Cool. Why don't we hop over and fast forward to the meeting, Dylan? All right, so we're going to hop over to the meeting, and we've got a couple things that are happening here. So one, I want to call your attention to the fact that this little thing that you see on the right at the bottom, this is not Slack. This is not your traditional Slack client. This is Slackbot out of Slack, okay? So what we've done is we've picked Slackbot up out of the container of Slack, we've set it down on your desktop and made it available to you there. The very first thing Dylan did here is ask Slackbot to start taking notes on the meeting that you see at the top here. That meeting is a Google Meet. So what Slackbot is doing here is this is actually tapping into my local audio and becoming a personal note taker on my behalf. Now, I have a budget up over here on the left, and I'm not good at numbers or math, and so I am going to ask Slackbot to take a look at this budget and see how we can make this pivot from one location to two locations happen under budget, okay? And so I opted in to have Slackbot look at my screen there. So it's taking a screenshot of that spreadsheet that you see there. And the cool thing about this is if it can't actually read the spreadsheet, it'll actually go into the Google Drive connector, search for and find that spreadsheet through Google Drive and read it that way. And what it's going to do is it's going to come back with a summary of how we can actually make this pivot happen within budget. But it's also going to spit out a dynamic user interface that's a dashboard for how we can make that happen that I can share with the rest of the team. So this is two things. One, well, three things actually. Slackbot out of Slack onto your desktop. Two, Slackbot listening to the meeting as it's happening on your behalf. Three, Slackbot reading your screen. And then four, Slackbot actually creating content for you on the fly. So here you can see it's written the executive summary about how we can make that pivot. And then now it's spit out the dynamic user interface. It's a dashboard for that budget analysis. And Dylan's going to go back in and share that back to that survival channel. Okay. Now, we're a minute and 45 seconds into this meeting, and I haven't been listening at all. Does that happen to any of you? Happens to me a lot because my screen looks like this and I've got things going up and I've got ADD real bad. So in this case, I'm going to say, go ahead and catch me up on the meeting. So what this is going to do is this is going to look back through what it's been listening to and actually tell me what's been happening, what I need to get up to speed on, or if any action items, God forbid, have been assigned to me while I haven't been paying attention. All right. So we'll turn those meeting notes off. I could take those, do what I please with them, share them back into channel. But you've seen a ton of stuff here. And what you've seen is, again, taking it out of that personal agent world for Slackbot and putting it back into a multiplayer context. So all in this survival stunt channel. Jimmy asked for a pivot. We created a presentation. We booked a meeting. We sent a message. We analyzed the budget. We got an executive summary of how to make it happen and a dashboard for everybody to align on and go make this happen. This previously would have been days or even weeks worth of work that happened in a matter of minutes. All right. So I showed you a number of things. We're actually announcing 30 things today-ish. The hero things that you saw there, one, you didn't even get to see voice, which you can go out to the demo booth and see that. But we introduced a new concept of skills, like a really powerful way for individuals and teams to extend Slackbot. We introduced deep research, which would have taken too long, I think, for this meeting, but you can have it exhaustively researched. That's what I had it do for the presentation I was given to Mark. I was like, can you exhaustively research this and figure out what questions he might ask me? 5 minutes later, it came back, and I was like, oh, wow, that's really good. We've also given it memory, so it's got that personal and pleasant nature to it. I think the intelligent note-taking for you is game-changing. It really helps us with our product design and engineering meetings as we're jamming on how to actually make things happen. And having it out on your desktop, the beauty of Slack is all of the context that resides in Slack. When you take Slackbot out of Slack and set it on your desktop, it's able to join the context of those Google Sheets, the Google Meetings, the documents you have open, your Figma files, back to that valuable context in Slack, which is immensely powerful. Now, you heard enough from me. I would love for you to hear from Mr. Beast himself. So to talk to Mr. Beast, I'd like to welcome back up Marc Benioff.
All right. There's an X on the floor I'm supposed to stand on. I found it. X marked the spot. Okay, Jimmy, where are you? Aha! Welcome,
right
Jimmy.
Here. How's it going?
All right, Jimmy, where are you? Are you in an undisclosed location somewhere?
No, I'm at my studio. We're filming a video where we put a bunch of people in a mansion, and whoever leaves wins it. So I couldn't break away to be there in person. I wish I could, but I'm excited to tell everyone about how we use Slack and just hang out.
Okay, well, we want to know, though, are you have Feastables by your side right now?
No, I think, or throw me one. Yeah, right here, ball me. Yes, I do.
Trying to do some product placement for you. There we go. Nice job, Jimmy.
I'm supposed to be doing product placement for you.
I know. You'll be getting the bill.
Thank you.
My rates are not, though, as expensive as yours, however, so you're okay. Jimmy, just tell us, why do you guys love Slack so much? This has been a great relationship because not only have you been the best Slack spokesperson we could have ever imagined, but it's truly authentic. You guys have been using it from the beginning, and just tell us everything you love about Slack, would you?
Yeah, I mean, of course. Well, even before we start working with you guys on marketing and things like that, we've been using Slack for years. Obviously, I assume everyone watching this uses it as well, or if you're not, it's kind of a no-brainer. You know, I can open up on my phone and just look to my company Slack right here. We have multiple different businesses, from our CPG companies to our production company to et cetera, and being able to just swap between all of them really quickly. And my favorite thing as an owner is, honestly, you have the feature where it just pulls up all my unread messages, and then I just hit mark as read. And, you know, sometimes I'll wake up and there'll be like 50 or 60 messages, especially if I wake up at noon because it's a late day of shooting. And it's just like, honestly, even just like, you don't even think about it, but you could save 10, 15 minutes not having to go open up every channel, and it just pops them all up and all the different features. And I'm sure we'll talk about Slackbot here in a second, but it's pretty cool as well. Just to prompt it to just search through everything. And I'm not aware of any other, app that I could run my company on that, I could basically just go, hey, give me a summary of how this video is going. And then it'll actually chats and give me a summary of etc. None of it will like save me an hour, but it's like 5 minutes here. Next thing you know, you save like 4 or 5 hours just because these little things add up, and it's kind of a no-brainer.
Jimmy, I have to ask you one question, which is, we actually originally met not because of Slack, but because of trees. And we were running our trillion tree program at Salesforce, trying to plant 1 trillion trees all over the world. And all of a sudden, we bump into this guy, Jimmy Donaldson, who's Mr. Beast, and he is running team trees all over the world.
Yep.
And, why is it that you've built philanthropy so deeply into your business? That's been such a great part of Beast Industries. Just tell us your heart on that.
Well, I appreciate you bringing it up. Well, and ironically, I thought I was doing something grandiose. Team Trees, we were trying to plant 20 million trees. So we got like the whole YouTube community together and, encouraged our fans to care about the environment. And as I was doing that, about this crazy guy on a quest to plant 1 trillion trees. I'm like, what the hell? Just show me up. Like, what are we even doing? I was like, so we're not even 1% of what he's doing. But which just shows the scale of how crazy your goal is. But in general, for us, we're at the moment, every video we make, 1% to 2% of humans alive watch. We're averaging around 150 million views a video. And so I just like, it's a world where we use this platform to, encourage people to do good and be a good role model and show people that doing good can be fun. So I just try to be a good influence, and I have fun doing it.
Jimmy, I really appreciate that. It's so inspiring to me. And one last question, I have to thank you because turns out you delivered the #1 Super Bowl commercial in the world this year. It's unbelievable, the amount of interactivity and breadth and depth that you got in it. How did you do it? And I know you talk all the time that somehow you have some magical gift that you're able to see what the camera is seeing before the camera can see it. But how did you deliver the #1 Super Bowl ad in the world for Salesforce? Thank you for that.
Yeah, well, I can't see the crowd right now, but hopefully the Super Bowl commercial we did with Salesforce made this commercial that was almost a little confusing. It's me walking through vaults, and I'm like, here's $1 million. It's hidden behind these vaults, and there's random things hidden in this commercial that if you solve all these different puzzles, and obviously it's a Super Bowl commercial, tens of millions of people saw it. Mark, you might know off the top of your head, how many people went to how many visits was it?
I think it must have been 100 million, zillion. It was a crazy number that we could never have imagined.
Yeah, well, but the crazy part is, even though millions of people were trying to crack this puzzle on a daily basis, it took over a month for the puzzle. So we worked with some of the best puzzle experts on the planet, and we spent half a year designing like literally the most hardcore you could ever imagine, 100 different steps and how it all ties together, and then we put all the clues embedded in the commercial. And so there's these giant subreddits and Discord threads, and people with PhD level geniuses would get together in a group of 10 and be like, hey, if we solve it, we'll split the $1 million 10 ways. And it was like pretty cool seeing people every day try to solve it. And yeah, just recently someone finally cracked the code. We gave them $1 million, and is a huge success. And so they had to use Slack and Slackbot. And so we embedded a bunch of the clues into Slackbot. So people had to go use Slack to find it. To win the $1 million, once you solved all 100 clues, they gave you digits. And it was basically the first person to Slack me, the hidden code, won the $1 million. And so after a month, someone sent it to me, and it's pretty crazy. So I hope we could do that every year and just make it like a Super Bowl scavenger, people go on, because it's pretty fun.
Great job, Jimmy. Thanks so much for everything. We're so grateful to have you part of our community.
Hey, guys, use Slackbot. It's awesome.
All right. Okay, back to you. Oh, who are we going to? Sajna? Sadeja, come on up.
Thanks, Mark. Wow, that was incredible. It's a tough act to follow. Well, you just saw how we are reimagining work in Slack with Slackbot. But what about the rest of your enterprise applications? Now, the reality is that the average company manages almost 1,000 different applications across their organization. Think about that. It's a lot. That means 1,000 different logins. That's 1,000 different systems to learn. And for the past few decades, employees, all of us, all of you listening to the broadcast, we've all had to be the glue that brings all those applications together across our IT stack. We'd have to manage the different insights from here, the tab over here, update over there. And that's a lot of work when we could be driving more impact for our business. And the reality is that, like you heard Parker say, the world's most innovative companies are building on the Slack platform. That's where the engagement is. That's where people are coming together. And so it's no surprise that so many of you are here today with us and building on the Slack platform. We have the team from Cursor here. Cursor is pioneering how humans and agents code together. The team at Linear has built the standard for how software teams are building product. The team at DocuSign, they're reinventing how companies manage agreements. And the team at Vercel, their team put it great. When you take our V0 agent and put it in Slack, it stops feeling like a tool and more like a teammate. And that is the exact experience that we want to bring to every single Slack user. There are over 2,600 applications on the Slack marketplace. And now Slackbot is going to be able to work with all of them. One of my favorite examples of how a company brings all of that together is the team at Engine. Engine is one of the fastest growing travel platforms, and they're really focused on small and medium businesses. And what's interesting about Engine is they have to scale really fast. And they're leveraging and really leaning in to agents and Slackbot and their entire Salesforce stack to do that all in the flow of work. So let's go into the demo where we'll take an example of how a team at Engine can leverage the latest from Slackbot and the Slack marketplace. So here I am in Slack. And just like you saw in the Mr. Beast demo, if I want to get an update on the status of the latest customer engagement here, I just have to ask, is Acme ready for their sales kickoff in Vegas next Monday? And it's searching through all of my files and information. It's searching through Salesforce. It's getting me all of that rich data. And I see that there's some critical blockers there. This is a great answer. It's giving me all the information that I need. But I want to go one level deeper. I know that they're blockers, but I don't want to have to log into a different system or switch to a different tab and do the mental math. I want it right there. So this is where all those other enterprise apps come in. And this is where the Slack Marketplace comes in. The Slack Marketplace is where you can access all of these different apps and start to install them in your workspace immediately. So we're going to take Linear, DocuSign, and Cursor and plug them in to our Slack workspace. So as we switch here, we're going to ask the same question, same Slack bot, but now we're connected. So here, you can see, of course, Slackbot is going through all of my files and conversations. It's now looking at all of my Salesforce data because I'm connected there too, but it's doing something really interesting. You see that little icon there? It's actually looking into Linear. It's authenticating and saying, bringing back the information that there's a bug. It's giving me the link to the bug, exactly what's happening, and it's also looked into DocuSign to tell me that there are a few contracts that need to be signed. That's huge. I didn't have to go into another system. And now I'm going to start working on that fix. Because when there's an issue, what do? You come together. Maybe you have a meeting, but if you use Slack, you actually create a channel. But I don't have to do that. because Slackbot is doing it for me. Slackbot knows exactly who I work with on this. Slackbot's bringing the right engineer and the right team together in a channel and calling it exactly what I would have called it. It's creating the channel, seeding it with a message with all the context, because Slackbot has that. And then it's inviting someone very important to the conversation, the cursor agent. And the cursor agent is working with us in real time, working on a fix. It's suggesting the fix to the bug, and then Adam, our lead engineer, is actually working with it and approving the fix, because we always have a human in the loop. Now that we've been able to figure out the root cause and the fix, that fix is approved and it goes back into the code. I didn't have to do anything. I get notified immediately. The team was able to fix that with the help of Cursor Agent. This is humans and agents working together in the flow of work. And so now that we've fixed the bug, we're on to our last blocker, and that's getting those contracts out from the vendors. And so I can just ask, hey, Slackbot, can you pull up those outstanding contracts to send? And it's gonna authenticate directly into DocuSign where those contracts lives and pull them right up for me. I don't have to go searching for them. I don't have to go find them. It's going to bring them in right into the flow of work in that singular conversation. You can see it actually in the thinking steps went into DocuSign and got those contracts for me. And so now if I want to actually send them to the customer, maybe I would go email them or send them a message, but I can go straight to Slackbot and they're going to show me exactly the contracts that are signed and the ones that are not and send them for me. This is how you can take all of the apps that you're working with right now, bring them into Slack, and now Slackbot has access and can help you be the best you can be at work, so it takes over the burden of being the glue managing all those apps like you used to. You've just seen Slack get connected to all of those different applications. That is how we're going to be changing how teams work in Slack and reimagining how all your enterprise apps work in Slack. All right, Marianne, back to you.
Alrighty. Hi, everyone. I'm Marianne Patel, and I run product for Agentforce Sales. And for the last 27 years, when you thought about CRM, you opened Salesforce. Well, today that changes, and we have 3 incredible announcements for everyone in here, so I'm going to run through them really quickly and tie them together with a demo. And it all starts with Slack CRM. The world's most powerful CRM is now connected with a really simple start. We've brought sales and service right here into the heart of Slack. So now every Slack customer has CRM built in from day one. This is a great way to get started and scale. You can start simple and we grow with your experience. But what if you already run your business on Salesforce, like many of us in this room do? Well, we've got you covered. Because when Mark and Parker started Salesforce, the goal was to make sure that enterprise software moved into the cloud. Well, today it is moving into the conversation because every single application that business runs on has been rebuilt, not next to Slack, inside of it. This is the first time every single one of your users is going to be able to have the work come right to them. They don't need to go figure out which tab. They don't need to go open it. It's all right to them. Everything that they need is right here, and all of these experiences are right here inside of Slack. My team thinks about Slack as the new UI because we want to be where sellers are working. We want to be where service professionals are working, and this is a great UI to go do that. But it doesn't just stop here. Apps do a great job of executing tasks, but agents do an amazing job orchestrating work. And together, these 2 things, that's what the Agentic Enterprise is. And that is why Slackbot speaks Agentforce fluently. You don't need to go say, hey, I need to go figure out which agent I'm talking to. All you have to do is ask Slackbot a question. It's going to figure out the right path, execute the work for you, and even better, it's going to manage all of your outcomes end to end. So you have everything that you need right here. We love this collaboration, but you don't have to take my word for it because Anthropic is using Slack and Agentforce. Their entire sales team leverages these tools, and that has been phenomenal because now agents are helping them drive top of the funnel, do prospecting, move deals forward, grow their accounts. It's all inside of Slack. And they have been able to see a 60% increase in deal cycles, which is phenomenal. But less talking for me, more focus on demo. So bringing back Dylan, we're going to move into the demo, and we're going to start right here. This is where sellers start their day. Everything that you need across your Slack conversations, your external tools, Salesforce, it's all right here. If you look at the top, it knows that Omega is this rep's top priority. Why? Because the deal stage is in Salesforce. We know all of the information about why this deal is important. We know your calendar. So we've surfaced this as something that's really important. Every tool that sellers need is right here. But how do they get there? Well, first, let's start with top of the funnel. Every single seller is stuck doing detective work. They're researching all of these different tools, looking for information. That's hours and hours a day, and we've automated it. I am so excited that agentic prospecting just went GA yesterday. So it's now doing all of that detective work agentically. It is looking at Zoom info, doing web research for you, reviewing previous call recordings, and it's serving you, the rep, all of these prospects on a silver platter. This is not just a list. These are the best prospects that meet your ICP delivered right inside of Slack. And I want Slackbot to actually have Agentforce manage these leads for me. Why? Because we have an engagement agent that automatically sends personalized, tailored messages to your leads, follows up, answers questions, and even books meetings with reps. That is amazing. So a sales rep doesn't have to touch this lead until the day that they actually meet them. All of that top of the funnel detective work is now gone. But pipeline means nothing if you're not prepared for the meeting. And that is why we are working here inside of the deal room, and we're going to be doing meeting prep. So let's think about how most of us prep for meetings. Maybe I have a meeting with one of you. I'm going to go inside of Salesforce. Then I'm going to call the AE. Then we're going to do a prep meeting. Then I'm going to go look at my Slack conversations. Then I'm going to see if somebody sent me an email. And I will probably fail at all of that because I too have a little bit of ADD. And so instead, what we're going to do is have Slackbot do meeting prep. And you'll see here, what is it doing? Well, it's pulled everything from Salesforce, Slack, and your connected apps, all for this call. I will tell you that this is the #1 use case that we launched with Slackbot inside of Salesforce, and reps were like just drooling. They were saving so much time because it's going through every single conversation, all of the Salesforce data. Honestly, it's way better at doing this prep than the average human because it's a little bit less lazy than I am. And this call brief here, it didn't exist 30 seconds ago. Slackbot generated it right as I was talking to you. And everything that you see here, like flagging the fact that the CFO is going to join the call, I didn't know that 30 seconds ago. This is a high-stakes, last-minute update, but Slackbot knows that. That's why inside of the recommendations here, it's already pulled in the right positioning, the right customer story. It's helping me build that business case, and the rep did not have to do any of that work. Think about all of the hours of meeting prep that would have been taken to get you to this spot. Gone. Okay, but the rep has been so busy drooling at Slack. What have they done? They might have forgotten to update Salesforce. Why? Because every seller in this room, and there are a couple of you in here, I know you, quote unquote, love updating Salesforce. And so we have fixed that too. You know, in my job, I talk to the best sellers in the world. They are so talented and so dedicated, and honestly, a part of my soul breaks when I hear them say, hey, I'm spending so much time doing all of this other stuff. I can only spend about 30% of my time with my customers. The rest, they're doing admin work, they're switching applications, they're figuring out what they need. The list goes on and on. And so what we did was we built the pipeline management agent. Now, if you ask Slackbot, hey, show me everything that I'm looking at, it takes the pipeline management agent. We're looking at all of your conversations, all of your updates, and we are actually orchestrating revenue. The rep never has to manually update Salesforce ever again. And here, why do I love this confirmation? It's not just another annoying AI confirmation. The rep is in control. This is the lifeblood of their business. Tell me a single rep who feels comfortable having AI update their pipeline. Said no one. But once they're in control, they do this a bunch of times, they see all the work that we're going through, then they can say, hey, I'm gonna let Agentforce take over. I'm gonna let Agentforce do these updates for me. In Miguel's SMB organization, we turned the pipeline management agent on in December. In 2 months, we saved 125,000 hours of updates from this tool alone. This is the future of what it means to be Salesforce. Now, this rep has saved so much time, but they still, what do they care about? Cash money, baby. Let's see how we are tracking on our forecast. Now, I don't know if you remember, but many years ago at Dreamforce, we did this hackathon, and somebody won a ton of money by basically taking a conversational ask, pulling up a dashboard in real time, and we gave them a giant check for that. That's what we're doing right here. We're going right to the source. Look for my pipe, look for my quota, look at my deals inside of Salesforce. Generate something that I can look at. Maybe it's going to be a dashboard or a chart. Slackbot is actually deciding what UI to render. I'm so happy I never have to go build UI again. I'm just going to send people here to this UI. And the reason it's taking a long time is there's no pre-built report behind the scenes. There's no one in IT like doing this for you in 2 weeks. I know every seller, it's the bane of their existence, waiting for a report to exist to find the data that they need. Well, here, you have now generated an entire snapshot of your pipeline and, ooh, look at the chart. Mark can give me $1 million now. And so everything that you just need to search data inside of Salesforce, it's right here. Slackbot just did this. So let's count up everything that I just showed in that demo. Top of the funnel detective work, gone. Your morning scramble, gone. Making Salesforce updates, gone. Searching for data, gone. Manually updating, gone. And everything that you need, those hours of meeting prep, all of that is gone. Who thinks that's an awesome demo? What I love about this demo is it finally solves the bane of my existence for the last 14 years and what I've been trying to deliver to customers. Because what really matters is the one thing that has always been worth the time is reps getting to spend more time with their customers, building lasting customer relationships. This is about one rep, having one agent all inside of the conversation. Slack has always been where work gets done, and Slackbot is now how work gets done and happens. All of this is how we are reimagining Salesforce from the ground up. Thank you so much. And for you to hear more about how this comes to life, let's welcome Rob and then Ami Vora from Anthropic to talk a little bit more.
Thank you, Marianne. We're very lucky to have Ami Vora, who's the Chief Product Officer of Anthropic, joining us. So, Ami, you basically at Anthropic are all in on Slack. I'd love to know just like a bit about how you all use Slack and how it's so instrumental to how you've built Anthropic and the products that you've built.
Yeah, I mean, you know some of these stories, but the industry is moving really fast. And one of my jobs on the product side is to help everybody understand what's happening and also make sure the team has enough clarity to keep on moving with velocity. And so when I first started Anthropic, one of the first things someone on my team told me was, you have to start a notebook. That's how everybody is going to know what you're thinking and what's going on. And I was like, what is a notebook? And a notebook at Anthropic is a public channel that anyone in the company can subscribe to, where you just share anything you want. So every week I write like, these are my goals for the week. This is how I did against my goals last week. Never 100%, as you can imagine. Here's what I'm thinking about for a product direction. Here's what's top of mind. Here's where I'm seeing teams come together or maybe need a little more clarity. And everybody does this, every level of leadership, every function. And so you kind of get this ambient knowledge about what's going on and how people are feeling and where there might be confusion or somewhere to dive deeper. And then with tools like Slackbot, you can actually go deeper into specific questions that you might want to follow up on or learn more about. And so this kind of entire system of communication has helped us all both feel more connected, but also realize where we need more clarity or what's already happening so we can keep moving and getting products into customers' hands.
That's amazing. It's we often find, at least within Slack, our use, the jumping off point for something in product design and engineering is often a conversation that happens in Slack or an idea that comes from somebody like Ami. And internally, we're using, so like our product manager for Slackbot, as an example, uses Slackbot to create or generate a synthesis of the customer feedback from our pilot. And the engineers are in channel and can actually start using Claude Code right there in channel in conjunction with the PM that's using Slackbot. We've actually used Slackbot to create personas or profiles of some of our best taste engineers and leaders. And our
how do you get on that list?
What's that?
How do you get?
I'm not on the list, which isn't good. But no, but they'll take those those personas generated by Slackbot and put them into Claude Code and basically have them participate as a reviewer in a team of agents. It's awesome to see Anthropic and Slack together that way. Now, Slack is where AI goes to work, and you're obviously at the frontier of where AI is going. Where do you see this partnership taking us in the future?
I mean, my favorite thing that I hear when I talk to somebody using these products is I feel like I have superpowers. You know, that's what you want to hear. You want to hear that people who are sitting down at their computer or using their phone to get work done suddenly feel like they can do things that they couldn't do before, or they can focus on the parts of the job that really need their judgment. And so what I love about this partnership is, like, you know, Claude and Anthropic are all about bringing frontier intelligence, and Slack has all the information about who you are, what your job is. And together, we're seeing people just do things like what you said, you know, in a Slack channel about people reporting bugs. You can see an engineer and just say, hey, Claude Code, figure out the root cause of this, and then come back and they can focus on where they need to solve the problems and get some of the pieces that don't need their brains done for them. And so I just can't wait to see what everyone builds in this world where it's a lot easier and more joyful to have those superpowers behind you.
That's amazing. I can't wait to see what people build and deploy into Slack between both of our technologies. So thank you so much for your partnership. I know you have to leave. To help me close it out, please welcome back Parker Harris.
All right, Rob. So those are some awesome demos, right?
Yes, they
Great
were.
job, Rob. All right, I didn't bring my clicker, but we'll go to the next slide, please. So you saw some great demos, you know, how Slackbot is amazing, the ecosystem. You know, we're bringing Salesforce. It's the new front end. It's the interface engagement layer for Salesforce, whether you're down market or up market. And of course, it's your face of all your agentic interactions. We want all of you to have access to this. And how many of you have not used Slackbot or don't have access to it? Hopefully we gave you, all of you. Oh, you don't have it. All right, let's go. Do you have a clicker?
I do not have the clicker, but what you need to do
Let's go to the next slide.
You need to go to the top.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, if you're on a Business Plus or Enterprise Plus plan, that means you're eligible for it. And you should go up next to your search bar, and if you see the little Slackbot icon, that's where you can start using it. If it's not there, ask your admin why not, and they'll turn it on for you. But we're pleased to announce today that we're going to make this available to our free and pro teams through sampling and trials, and we're rolling that out in April of this year. So all of the millions of users of Slack are
Slackbot's available everywhere. So fastest adopted feature I've ever seen. The team is on fire. Everything you just saw is coming out in June, but I guarantee you, a month from now, it's going to look totally different. We are going faster than ever. Also, thanks to this partnership with Anthropic. It's been amazing. Thank you all for being here. As always, give us feedback on our keynotes. You can go to that URL and give us some feedback on how we're doing. Enjoy the show. Enjoy Slackbot. Enjoy Salesforce. Take care.
Thank you, everybody.